Well, I joined the army at 18, back in the late 90s. And on my second tour of Iraq in 2006, I was out there as a recovery commander. So I was a vehicle mechanic by trade. And my job basically was the AA in Basra, so I had to go around. Anything blown up, drove into a ditch, broken down. I took my crew in and we sorted it out. And on the day in question, 6 December 2006, out on patrol with an infantry company. And unfortunately, as we moved out from the area, with all the dust that kicked off from the armoured vehicles, my driver couldn't see properly. So I stuck my head out, yes, it's clear, and then as I dropped my head back in, that's when I felt the impact on the side of my cheek and just like being hit by an iron bar, really. I knew instantly that I'd been injured, but I had no comprehension as to how badly I'd been injured. Fortunately, the bullet didn't knock me out. It went in the left cheek here, came out the right cheek there. Shattered both cheekbones, broke my jaw in 4 places, my palate collapsed, and there's other internal damage behind my face, which I didn't find out about till later. I climbed out of the vehicle, jumped on the floor, hit the first medic that came to help me. So 4 more grabbed me, put me on a stretcher. And the next thing I knew, I woke up in Birmingham 3 weeks later on Christmas Eve to the news that I'd lost my left eye totally. There was very little hope of any vision coming back to my right eye. And obviously the complete facial damage that had been done as well. And that's kind of when my world fell out, you know. The 4 words, "you've lost your sight," kind of sounded like your life is over to me. I'd lost my career, I'd lost my job, I'd lost, you know, my future. The vision was actually the last thing I was thinking about at that point. It was the consequences of losing my vision that were hard to take. So I spent a year, came out of the hospital, and that's when me and my dad, because my dad was ex-forces, took a very pragmatic view about where I was going to go next and what the future held. And we got so far, we did quite well. But then within a year, I'd hit another ceiling. And to be 30 years old and realise that you've done everything you're going to do in your life is quite depressing. And so we had to fish around to see if anyone else could help. And that's when we found Blind Veterans UK. But the bottom's a deep hole. And you've got to work hard to fight, you know, to climb back up. And it takes a lot of personal courage, a lot of personal strength and fortitude to do it. But you can't do it on your own. You need help. It's the professional support that makes a big difference. You know, everybody can be kind and friendly, but kind and friendliness doesn't do the detailed bits that you need to move forward. Like, you know, send an email, you know, write a document on a computer, or, you know, read my own mail, things like that, cooking. All the stuff we take for granted, I learned that there were still possibilities, it was still feasible for me to do that. And then again, it was the introduction to other people and finding out that, you know, my story wasn't the worst out there. You know, I wasn't the most hurt person. I wasn't the first person to go through this. And I think that's one thing that's very unique within the organisation and a very positive ethic throughout, a value, is that we're just not here for tea and sympathy. We're here to give people their lives back, and being part of that and being involved in that, I think, is very powerful. You know, my life has been rebuilt. I'm evidence of what can be done, and also because it's personal to me, because it has been done for me. I'm a massive advocate of ensuring we're doing it for others. And like I say, I couldn't do that. I couldn't get the job satisfaction I have if it wasn't for the generosity of the people supporting us.